Hey guys, it's Owen from Wrestling Inc. back with another wrestling news roundup. Without any further ado, let's get into today's biggest stories in the world of professional wrestling. Backstage news on post-WrestleMania 38 plans for the Brock Lesnar vs Roman Reigns winner. New details have been revealed on what WWE has planned for WWE Champion Brock Lesnar and WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns coming out of their winner-takes-all unification bout at WrestleMania 38. As we've noted, WWE recently announced that Lesnar vs Reigns will be a title unification match, meaning there will be one champion at the end of WrestleMania 38 Sunday. It was recently reported that there was a feeling within WWE that one champion is not feasible for Raw and SmackDown in the modern environment, mainly because of the networks Fox and USA Network wanting their own champion. In an update, the Wrestling Observer newsletter reports that the winner of Lesnar vs Reigns will be crowned the unified WWE champion, but internally it's already conceded that the single unified champion is temporary. Quote, "It will change because it's not plausible, not for either schedule, not for the networks, not for the long term," a WWE source noted. There's no word yet on how WWE will get back to having two champions or how long they will go with the single champion, but we will keep you updated. Another interesting note is how WWE has a triple threat match for the WWE title advertised for post-WrestleMania live events featuring AJ Styles vs Bobby Lashley vs Seth Rollins. WWE is now billing Lesnar vs Reigns as the biggest match in company history. Vince McMahon offers WrestleMania 38 match to Pat McAfee. WWE SmackDown commentator Pat McAfee is set to return to the ring at WrestleMania 38. WWE Chairman and CEO Vince McMahon appeared on the Pat McAfee show yesterday and said he'd like to offer McAfee something special. Vince went on and said he knows McAfee loves what WWE does and he's part of the team, and Pat is Pat, which is why it works. Vince then offered McAfee the chance to actually wrestle at WrestleMania 38. McAfee responded and accepted the offer, saying that would be a dream come true. Vince said unlike when McAfee was a punter for the Indianapolis Colts, now he will be a linebacker in the ring. It's been rumored that McAfee will wrestle McMahon at WrestleMania, but that was not confirmed. McAfee brought up the internet chatter about his return to the ring, and Vince said they will find him a worthy opponent and work it out. McAfee said the offer is incredible and asked if it's the real deal. Vince said he doesn't BS. There's no word yet on who McAfee's opponent will be or how they will get to Vince vs Pat. Austin Theory has been rumoured for the McMahon vs McAfee feud, but he was not involved in yesterday's interview. McAfee began working with WWE as a guest commentator and analyst for WWE NXT events in 2018. He signed a multi-year contract in early 2019 and feuded with Adam Cole in 2020, which led to his in-ring debut at the TakeOver 30 event, where he took a loss to Cole. He also led his team to a tough loss to the Undisputed Era at the 2020 War Games event. McAfee was promoted to color commentator of the SmackDown on Fox show in April of 2021 and has called the show each week with Michael Cole. WrestleMania 38 will be McAfee's third match for the company. Vince McMahon set to induct The Undertaker into the WWE Hall of Fame. WWE Chairman and CEO Vince McMahon is set to induct The Undertaker into the WWE Hall of Fame during WrestleMania 38 weekend. Vince appeared on the Pat McAfee show yesterday and announced he will be doing the honors for Taker as he goes into the 2022 class of the Hall of Fame. Vince praised Taker, the man and the character, and said this induction will be one of the hardest things he's ever done because he loves Taker. Vince has inducted just a few names over the years: former executive and mayor James Dudley in 1994, Steve Austin in 2009, and Donald Trump in 2013. The 2022 WWE Hall of Fame induction ceremony will take place on Friday, April 1st from the American Airlines Center in Dallas, Texas. The event will air live on Peacock and the WWE Network after the WrestleMania 38 Go-Home edition of SmackDown goes off the air that night. Backstage notes on WWE's Ring of Honor negotiations, reactions to Tony Khan's acquisition, and more. WWE reportedly had talks to purchase Ring of Honor. As noted, Wednesday's AEW Dynamite opened with AEW President, CEO, General Manager and Head of Creative Tony Khan announcing that he has purchased ROH. In an update, PW Insider reports that WWE was interested in purchasing Ring of Honor when the company announced their hiatus last November. WWE and Ring of Honor officials entered into discussions back in December, but for some reason the talks ended without an official deal being made. This was not the first time that WWE and Ring of Honor had talks, as Triple H wanted to buy the promotion when they were hot back in 2018. It was noted that some people in WWE were legitimately shocked when Khan made his announcement, as there was a feeling within WWE that AEW was going to announce a streaming deal with HBO Max, which had been rumored. Regarding upcoming plans for Ring of Honor, Khan's press release noted that more details would be announced in the coming weeks. PW Insider adds that as of Wednesday, the ROH side was still working on production for the ROH TV show and the upcoming events announced for April. And word going around that circle was that the sale talks were going on, but the deal still wasn't done. That changed late in the day, as late as 6 p.m. Eastern Time. While the two sides had been in talks for a few weeks, the official deal wasn't closed until yesterday. There was a small circle in AEW who were aware of the talks, and they believed it to be a done deal well before that. The sale was described by bittersweet by people on the ROH side, as some feel like this was the right thing for the long-term viability of Ring of Honor, but there was a lot of people who truly loved working on the product who were extremely saddened to see this chapter end. The reality is the chapter actually ended last December after Final Battle. Regarding the future of Ring of Honor, Cassidy Haynes of Body Slam reports that internal plans call for AEW to use Ring of Honor as a developmental territory of sorts. It was also noted how word going around says, quote, main roster AEW talent will be featured on ROH brand at times. It was also noted by Body Slam that Khan paid in the region of $30 to $40 million. This comes after a recent report noted how one person was in talks to buy the company in early 2020 for a discussed $40 million price point, while other people claimed a potential buyer was told $30 million for 50% ownership at one point. It should be noted that these price points were from a time where Ring of Honor had several talent contracts and before the hiatus was announced last year. As noted, it was reported on Wrestling Observer Radio how the ROH tape library was important to AEW, as they do want a streaming service in some form. Khan noted in Wednesday's press release that he will immediately begin exploring opportunities to make the ROH video library available to fans. AEW acquired thousands of hours of ROH footage with the purchase. Khan's announcement also noted that they have, quote, the potential to produce new content under the ROH banner. There is no word yet on his plans for the ROH brand or if the Supercard of Honor event will still happen during WrestleMania 38 weekend. It is likely that this event will still happen along with the April 10 Ring of Honor TV tapings in Philadelphia, as wrestlers and venues have been booked and tickets put on sale. PW Insider noted that recent Ring of Honor announcements for Supercard of Honor and the Philly taping were made independent of the AEW side and were put into motion before the sale was announced. Khan's announcement noted that the ROH acquisition will be completed through an entity that is wholly owned by Khan. AEW Dynamite viewership and key demo rating down from last week going into Revolution. Wednesday's live Revolution Go Home edition of AEW Dynamite drew 966,000 viewers on TBS, according to Nielsen via Showbuzz Daily. This is down 4.35% from last week's episode, which drew 1.010 million viewers. This week's Dynamite drew a 0.35 rating in the key 18 to 49 demographic this week. This is down 12.50% from last week's 0.40 rating. This week's 0.35 key demo rating represents 460,000 viewers who watched the show from that demographic. This is down 11.02% from last week's 517,000 viewers that the key demo represented, according to WrestleNomics. Dynamite ranked number 8 on the cable top 150 this week with a 0.35 rating in that key demo. Dynamite also ranked 62 in viewership for the night in cable. This is down from last week's 41st ranking. Wednesday's Dynamite drew the third lowest audience of the year. The show tied with the February 2nd episode for the lowest key demo rating of the year. Wednesday's Dynamite viewership was down 4.35% from last week, while the key demo rating was down 12.50% from the prior week also. This week's Dynamite viewership was up 3.43% from the same week in 2021. The key demo rating was up 6.06% from the previous year. The 2021 episode went head-to-head with WWE NXT. So what are your thoughts on today's Wrestling News Roundup? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Be sure to like and subscribe to Wrestling Inc. and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.